Hey, Phil.
Hey, all right, good time?
Yeah.
Okay, it won't take very long. Um, I'm going to say my name and then you go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay. My name is Philip LeCount.
And this is Bob Jones.
Tell me a little bit about restorative justice as it applies to schools.
Well, restorative practices kind of came into being, I think, so in Pennsylvania in about 1999. Comes from the Saner Safer Schools project. And the idea is to, rather than suspend kids and punish and expel kids, rather to set up uh, group dynamics and restorative kinds of practices that keep the kids in school and engage them in being more responsible with their behavior. It's a rather complex implementation startup, but it's based on some pretty good science. Uh, the results have been fantastic. 70% decreases in suspensions and disciplinary problems, higher graduation rates. Just really pretty incredible stuff. The resource officers have a big part to play in this too.
Um, the idea is that instead of sending them home, they are put into a program that tries to reacclimate them to school setting and talk through what their problem is and so forth.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's kind of in the thumbnail, and to rebuild relationships with the people that they've harmed at school, the teachers that they've had adversarial relationships with, principals and counselors, and it really puts all the team together to try to restore the kid to school and to a working healthy relationship where they're learning and behaving well and doing all the kinds of things we want to see kids do in school. It's
one of
saner, safer schools kind of says it all, doesn't it?
yes, yes, it you know, um, I think that one of the things that they're considering right now, more than even considering, is putting in metal detectors into the schools in Texas. And what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, this isn't the first time that we've come up with that solution, and all it does really is set out signals that it's the school system against the kids, kids against the school system. It's it really sets up a design in which a kid who wants to make trouble can think of new ways to do it, and the kids who wouldn't cause trouble in the first place are psychologically edged to an adversarial position. And I think it's really destructive. It's destructive for teachers who are standing at the other end of metal detectors expecting negative outcomes from the kids that are walking through the doors. I mean, next steps beyond that are even scarier, aren't they? I mean, frisking, strip searches. What comes next? How many measures can you take to treat kids as if they're criminals? If you treat people like that, they're going to act like that. It's just simple psychology. If you're treated badly, you're going to act badly. If you're treated with an expectation of excellence, you're gonna achieve excellence. It's just the way it works. And
That's one
besides
thing
that,
I
it's ridiculous from the standpoint that if I'm going to do harm to a students or teachers, and you've got metal detectors in the school, I'll just wait outside. And I can do that fairly effectively from any. You can't protect a school. Um, it's like locks on a door. It keeps good people honest.
you know one thing I've always I guess that I've learned from working with school resource officers and the ones that are really good at dealing with kids is that when they talk to kids, um, they, I know that it's against every instinct that a police officer has, but they don't tell the young person, stay out of trouble. Okay. And I think that one of the things that we forget is that young people will look up to a police officer and that they want to be asked to be a hero in their life, in their own life. And if we have that expectation that you are going to, if you were to meet your childhood hero, John Wayne was mine. If he had come to me and said, stay out of trouble, that would have deflated me. I would have said, you want that person to say, saddle up, let's, I want you at my side, right?
Yeah.
And that seems like a small thing, but it's a huge way of approaching kids, that you have the expectation that they are going to, they have something to live up to. And just to sell this idea that, the first thing for a police officer to talk about is to start talking about drugs and staying out of trouble. And I think they throw away their power.
Well, and
their influence.
as you know, from your studies of Joseph Campbell and some of his thinking, that we're the heroes in our own story, regardless. And we're the ones. We are the hero. So how do you help a kid find that? How do you change his thinking from being, I'm a bad boy or a bad girl, into, look, you're the hero in your life. How do we make that happen? How do we craft that? One of the stories I like best is the story that Maria Shriver tells about growing up in the home with her amazing mother, Eunice, who started special ed and Special Olympics, and her father, Sarge Shriver, who was in the Kennedy administration, started the Peace Corps. When she was being interviewed by Oprah, she was asked what it was like to live in a situation like that. And she said, well, it was challenging because every morning we all had breakfast together, and Father would ask us what each and every one, we had to have an answer. What are you going to do to change the world today? And she said, if that wasn't enough, when we came back for dinner, Mother would ask, what did you do to accomplish that plan? What did you do to change the world today? And if we took that approach, we know what happened with all those children. They were set up for excellence, weren't they? And each one of them became heroic in their own lives. Politics aside, they're heroic people. They did things beyond what anyone would expect of a normal human. We're all capable of that. And the school resource officer, as a person who's set up as a dynamic leader, has the ability to influence a child in that very direction. And can you imagine what it'd be like to take? All of us remember some bad kid at school, but can you imagine someone taking him aside and saying, "What kinds of great things can you do to be like John Wayne? How can you be like him? How can you make good things happen for people?" No one ever asks a kid who's misbehaving those kinds of questions. We start that kind of, that's restorative justice right there. That's a restorative.
There's I'm not exactly sure exactly what it's called, but it's approaching young people as assets and not liabilities.
Well, that's it. That's exactly it. And they are our assets. They're our greatest asset. And if we treat them badly, those are the results we're going to get.
And I remember the movie High Noon, where Gary Cooper is having to face down these killers that are coming to town, and the entire town abandons him. And if you remember, the only person besides his young wife, the only person that is willing to stand with him is a young person.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
a young kid in the town. And so, to me, that taps into this uh, this potential that every young person aspires to, of being the hero, standing with something that is um, bigger than themselves and represents justice.
Sure, and look at what Gregory Boyle's doing in Los Angeles with Homeboy Industries. I mean, if you think he can't change people and completely alter the way they behave and think of themselves, look what he's doing with hardened gang members and prison former inmates and the worst prisons around, and just changing their lives completely. The model's there.
Mm-hmm.
The model's there for excellence, but you have to expect it. And like you're saying, if you expect it, it'll happen.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it there for right now. Go ahead and take a look. I'm going to throw some other subjects your way and see if you've got a little take on them. One of the things that I want to do between now and over the summer, while a lot of these things are being thought through in every state, is to give people some things to think about with regard to what the benefits of going with the benefits of a school resource officer, the kinds of things that the school resource officer needs to be trained in, perhaps to be on the lookout for. With of course, if they want the person there to be there for security and in case there is any kind of incident. But there's also ways that, and let's face it, you're profiling these young people to see if there is a potential problem, and so that you can hopefully intercede in this person's life, and we can short circuit some of these horrible events.
Now, did you tell me that there is a group coming?
Yeah.
Group of SROs coming.
Yeah.
When are they coming?
They will be here on the 29th of June.
The more I think, the more I've been thinking about that. What about renting or leasing that movie Paper Tigers? To show them it's a 90-minute, a little bit more than 100 minutes. But boy, that might be a powerful thing to do.
I'm familiar with the George Plimpton movie, but this is not bad. What is Paper? That's Paper Lion, maybe. What is this?
I think I sent you a link to it. Paper Tigers is about a school in Pennsylvania that.
I did watch a couple of
Paper Tigers, and there was high school.
Okay.
One high school's unlikely success story, and you can host a screening. You can actually rent the thing on
Vimeo.
Not on Vimeo, on YouTube for $3.99.
Okay.
And watch it before you. But then you can also rent it for a showing. Or of course you can always screen it on a big screen for the $3.99. But it is fabulous, and there's a website.
I just pulled it up.
Paper Title. I think you've got the link because I sent it to you.
Yeah. Okay, I got it right here.
But that'd be a fantastic thing. I think that it set up the amazing things that were accomplished in that school in PA. are just mind blowing. I haven't watched the whole film, but I've seen the trailer and read all about it. But there are all kinds of press kits and discussion guides and videos discussing the movie. So there's a ton of stuff online. I think you'll really be impressed with it. It changed everything in the school. I mean, it absolutely changed everything. It's a model that all of us can use.
I'll take a look at it. I'll watch it today.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna get on to your post for today. I'll have that down here, and then we'll talk later, or I'll be in touch later in the week, and about these editing issues.
Yeah, I think you liked it. Yeah. The substance abuse one this week is, again ties into not the substance abuse, but the delivery of service for substance abuse disorders and mental health in kids. Links ACEs and trauma-informed care and juvenile justice, and then the next one's about resilience and some of these school-based projects we're talking about. So at the end of that, I should have everything we need to put together the guide.
Okay.
I'm having fun with it.
Good.
Yeah.
And well, excellent. Okay.
And I probably am the reason that there are no monkey bars at Edison School. So.
I went to Edison. I miss those monkey bars.
Yeah, my fault.
You really fell off eating monkey bars?
Yeah, I really did. They didn't get rid of them, though. I was in Mrs. Klamath's third grade class.
No.
And it was
knocked some sense into you, maybe.
Well, I broke my arm.
Oh.
And the reason I think I'll never forget it, besides the fact that I broke my wrist, which was traumatic enough, but Mrs. Clayman came to visit to see how I was, and came upstairs and saw me in my underwear, and I was completely devastated for the rest of my life.
Oh well, you turned out.
Yeah,
turned out. All right, Bob. Talk to you later.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you.